I am so excited for this series.
Me too.
Western Conference Finals. Wolves, Mavericks, Game 1, Target Center. Both these teams have been playing some impressive basketball.
Yes, they have.
We just saw what Dallas did against OKC.
So fun.
We just saw what the Wolves did against defending champions into Game 7 on the road. And now these two teams are clashing to get to the NBA Finals. I'm on a tough time with this series. One thing I know we can do. Anyone that cites the regular season matchups, yell at them. It doesn't matter.
Oh.
The Wolves won the season series 3-1.
Okay.
The last time they played was January 31st.
Wait, what did the Mavs even look like at that point?
A lot different. PJ Washington
Wasn't there.
He's in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Daniel Gafford was in Washington. Completely different Dallas Mavericks team.
Copy
It doesn't
that.
matter. And Kyrie missed a game.
Okay.
I think Luka missed a game or two. It doesn't matter. It's totally done. It's so long ago, so I put no stock into it.
Okay.
Here's what I would say. Dallas, do you give them a chance in this series? Sure, because they've got two guys in Luka and Kyrie that are insane offensive players that attract so much attention.
Wait, why do you ask? Do you give them a chance?
Because
this team, look at what this team has looked like at the end of regular season and now in the postseason.
I get it.
Okay.
And I like the Mavericks.
Sure.
The Wolves have been the most impressive team in the playoffs. And I think this is a Wolves team that has the pieces that can at least challenge Luka and Kyrie to make their lives as difficult as possible. I'm not sure there are many teams that could do that. Maybe Boston too. Okay, Boston.
You're just saying like multiple bodies, pieces, length, size, all the things.
I have to imagine Jaden McDaniels is going to defend Luka. And we've seen that before. Fine. Jaden McDaniels is a disgusting defensive player.
Disgusting.
My big concern with him?
What?
Foul
Fouling. Fouling is the answer. Fouling.
And Luka can get him the foul trouble, so that's going to be key. And then the matchup of Anthony Edwards against Kyrie Irving. Ant says he wants that matchup.
Well, that is going to be difficult. Ant has like the mentality and the physical ability to do it.
Yeah.
But Kyrie is a magician when the ball is in his hands. His ball handling skills. Now, what we haven't seen enough from Kyrie is Kyrie being ultra aggressive on the offensive end. And that's not with his ball handling. I'm talking about making a play for himself. Not just looking to try and get into the paint, spray three, whatever else it is. They need him to do a lot more scoring.
Kyrie in that series against Oklahoma City averaged like 15 points game, 6 assists. That has to go way up. You're exactly right.
Agreed.
Like he has to look to be aggressive. He said that series is one of the toughest series he's been a part of, just Oklahoma City's defense.
Wow.
Well, they've got a lot of guys on that Minnesota roster that they could throw.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And Nickeil Alexander-Walker off the bench is a really good defensive player. We just see how good this team can be from a defensive standpoint. So I think they have those guys. And I think my other concern from Dallas is just up front. Like, Derek Lively at the end of this OKC series was awesome, especially in that clinching game.
So happy for him.
After kind of a slow start in the first couple of games. It's going to be interesting to see how Gafford and Lively do against that size that they have where, they got Gobert, Cat, obviously.
Yep.
They have Nas Reed that they play all three together. They bring Slow-Mo off the bench. That size can be problematic, and I think this is where you feel the Maxi Kleber injury a little bit. There's uncertainty if he can come back in this series or not, because that's just another option where you could spread the floor.
Yeah. And that I guess when you look at it from there, sure, there's going to be their challenges on the defensive end for the Mavs.
And rebounding, and those guys get...
And even on the offensive end for the Mavs.
I want to add this, though. The one thing, the Mavs second in the NBA in field goal percentage on layups and dunks, second. That's second in the league, right? Since they had those guys.
Yeah.
It's a little different when you've got the size of Minnesota.
Anything else you like?
No, that's all.
I know. You're just excited. It's cute.
This series has me juiced.
I know. And we need to calm down because it's not happening yet. But offensively and defensively for the Mavs, like the challenges will be there. We understand that. But it's a 7-game series. How do you, if you don't make your in-game adjustments, which you're hoping Jason Kidd just makes his in-game adjustments, but if you're not doing that, how do you make your series adjustments, right? And making sure that you're making the right moves, learning from the mistakes of game one. So hopefully, again, that they'll make them in game. But if not,
you're right, because game ones has not been good for Dallas.
It just hasn't been good. And we've also seen them turn it on, turn it around, make their adjustments. So yeah, that will be interesting. Another weird thing that I just wanted to get to really quick before I forget, because I remember Mike Breen talking about in this game one for the Celtics and the Pacers. Thank you. He's like talking about the officiating, and he's like, hey, not a lot of people complaining. Like, a lot of people just like not complaining about calls. This has been great. This has been great. And all I'm thinking about with this series with the Mavs and the Wolves is like, you got Cat, you got Luka. How many people are going to be bitching, and how long are they going to be bitching? And I think the team and the person that bitches less is going to obviously be the one that's going to be on the right track.
And to both those guys' credit,
yes,
they've done a great job in the playoffs.
They've done great.
And it's stood out when they haven't.
Yes.
Both those guys. And I think for the most part, two guys that talk a lot, they've been really good in the playoffs with that stuff.
It's so helpful for the team. It is so helpful for the team. And this is where the team, like both these teams, need their guys the most. They need, especially you think about like that last game for Ant and how he wasn't very productive, but everyone else was able to kind of step up around, and he was productive in so many other ways.
Just not
right?
from a score.
Thank you. Just from a score. He wasn't efficient from a scoring standpoint. Thank you. But there was like, he needed everyone's energy to be on the right track. And I felt like everyone was there mentally and was like, no, we got this. We got this. And I feel like when you look at the Mavericks, they just need Luka on a whole different level of focus in this game, especially if Kyrie isn't going to be an aggressive scorer in this series once again. You've got to make sure you're taking this game so seriously. You don't want to have any regrets bitching about a call.
The other things that I think about with this series too is some of the other matchups on the other end. Like, I imagine they're going to put Derrick Jones Jr. on Ant. He's done a great job defending. That's going to be a different task, but I think Derrick Jones Jr. is capable of making life a little more challenging for Anthony Edwards, even though it's a tough cover. The other guy, PJ Washington, who was so awesome with the shooting. I think, look, it's tough to ask PJ to average like 20 a game. Okay. Mm-hmm. Still knock down threes, but I'm guessing that's going to be the best option to put on Cat. And I was thinking back, oh my God, PJ Washington was on the Hornets when Cat scored 62 points. I went back and watched some of that game today, and I was laughing because for the majority of that game, the Hornets had PJ Washington defend Gobert. They went small in that game, and they put Bridges on Cat, and Bridges was just getting torched in that game. So I'm like, all right, well, what can you really take from this? But PJ's tough. He is strong, but they still need PJ to knock down some shots. Look, man, this is going to be a fascinating watch, and I'm interested to see what kind of things Dallas can do to go up Mike Conley. That's kind of the weakness we see in every playoff series. You go hunt someone. I imagine it's going to be hunting Mike Conley. You can't play Conley off the floor because he means so much for that team. But I think that's a matchup that I think Luka could go at, or Kyrie Irving. So that's going to be interesting.
I want to see also how the T-Wolves, what they do with packing the paint, right? I mean, you talk about someone like Kleba not being there to stretch the floor, and what's going to be their goal with that. We've seen teams execute, I guess, just being in the paint, making sure that Luka and Kyrie can't penetrate in the paint and to create, and especially when those shots are being missed on the outside. So I'm curious how the Wolves are going to start with that defensively, and if they're going to be like, okay, we'll live with all of you guys shooting. Now, they'll make their adjustments when PJ's making all of his threes, when whoever else, if Luka starts knocking down more threes, whoever else it is.
Luka's got to be great in this series, and Kyrie has to be great.
Yeah.
Bare minimum.
Bare minimum.
Let us know what you think about this series. Right now, I give the edge to the Wolves. I think this series is probably going 6 or 7, though.
I mean, that's what we want. I
think that's what I want to.
Give me 7.
That's what I want to. If the Mavs beat this Wolves team that's playing the best basketball in the playoffs, plays great defense, it's putting Luka in a totally different category too, because this is going to be a challenge. It really is.
It's going to be fun.
And I can't wait. Anyway, let us know what you think in the comments below. Mavs fans, don't be mad at me. I still like watching your team, okay? Please don't be mad at me.
Oh my God, you're so dumb.
Anyway, let us know what you think in the comments below. Predict the series. Tell me why I'm wrong. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.